Hey! Hi! How you doing? This is the Gamertron and welcome back to the Gamertron Show. Sometimes we need a hero. Sometimes we need 21 heroes. Sometimes it's fun to pick from those 21 different heroes and discuss which are your top 5 out of the 21, which is what I'm here to do today with this video. Overwatch's obvious selling point is its 21 different playable characters and everyone's going to have their favorites. So let me share with you my top 5 favorite characters from Overwatch. Number 5, Soldier 76. He's the entry-level and tutorial character for a reason. Soldier 76 is kind of meant to represent the basic, classic, and somewhat cliched soldier stereotype from video games, but with his own style and flair. Soldier 76 is equipped with a pulse rifle. His primary fire is that of your typical assault rifle. Soldier 76's assault rifle overall has really good fire rate, really good damage, and fast reload speed. It is certainly a satisfying weapon. His first ability, or secondary fire in this case, is Helix Missiles, a long-range and powerful projectile attack that, if timed and used at the opportune moment, can severely damage an enemy, multiple enemies, or straight up kill them outright, giving him some viable heavy firepower, extremely useful against the more tankier characters in the game. His next ability, Biotic Field, activates some area of effect healing for himself and teammates, making him almost a semi-medic. Now, Soldier 76's most used and most generic ability is Sprint. No, seriously, that's one of his abilities. Sprinting, running. But to be fair though, he's the only character in the game that can do that. While there are some characters in the game that can fly, that have dashes, charges, and a few other unique ways to get around the map faster, Soldier 76 is the only one that can sprint, and with that, making him one of the more faster characters in the game, making him useful for getting to objectives first, or even quickly outmaneuvering enemies. It's amazing how a simple mechanic like sprinting, a mechanic we've seen in so many first-person shooters, completely changes when you limit that ability to just one playable character class. And finally, Soldier 76's ultimate ability, Tactical Visor, is basically a temporary aimbot, with all enemies in your sight being automatically locked on, giving you free hits without having to aim, while also having almost an instantaneous reload while your ultimate is active. Despite Soldier 76 being this game's sort of generic soldier character, he's far from generic in a number of ways, including his design. I love the color contrast of the red, blue, and white. The visor face mask he's got going on looks badass. And to top it all off, he's voiced by Fred Tatasciore. And I love Fred Tatasciore. He gives this character such a badass voice. Love it. Number 4, Bastion. We've had a lot of video games where we get to play as robots, but none quite like Bastion. Bastion's standard primary fire is that of an SMG, with decent fire rate and damage. Where things get interesting, however, is that at any time Bastion can transform and reconfigure himself into a mobile turret. A minigun mobile turret, with insane fire rate and a massive magazine size. Bastion's ability to transform into a turret at any time makes him a very popular and infamous character, because depending on where you position yourself on the map in turret form, can net you a ton of kills, suppress an entire team, and possibly win or lose the game. Bastion is not invincible, however, but just in case a healer isn't nearby, one of Bastion's abilities is the ability to heal himself, repair himself. He is vulnerable while doing so it's recommended to get into cover before repairing yourself. But switching between Bastion's bipedal and turret form and repairing yourself at the right time can make him an extremely effective, tactical, and fun to play as character. And the fun just increases with his ultimate, which has Bastion transform into a tank. Yeah, that's his ultimate. He transforms into a tank. However, it's only for a short period of time, so it's important that you activate your ultimate transforming you into an uber powerful tank at just the right time, usually when the entire enemy team is around an objective. I gotta tell you, it is a blast lobbing explosives and driving around as a mini tank while decimating an enemy team. Fun as hell. I just really like Bastion as an overall character when it comes to his design and abilities. I've played as quite a few robots and quite quite a few video games, and I really enjoy Bastion's really mechanical and Transformer-like mechanics. Also, he has an adorable robotic speech pattern, partnered with an adorable love for his pet bird. I gotta say, in a sea of video game robots, Bastion definitely stands out. Number 3, Genji. Genji is a cybernetic ninja. Genji is awesome. He's kind of awesome. Did I mention he's awesome? Like, where do I even begin? His design is phenomenal. I mean, he obviously takes inspiration from a variety of Japanese pop culture, but he is constructed in a way to where he still has his own unique look and feel, which leads me into his gameplay, his abilities. Now for Genji's primary attack, his weapon of choice is shurikens, but you have two ways of firing the shurikens: a straight linear shot or a spread out wide shot, allowing you to do a decent amount of damage to one specific target or a little bit of damage to a group of targets. Genji's first ability, Swift Strike, has him dash forward a great distance while damaging any enemies in his path. Great for finishing off wounded enemies, getting you out of a sticky situation, or just gaining some distance. Genji's next ability, Deflect, has him break out his short sword and block and deflect any incoming fire towards him. This is especially excellent on turrets, high rate of fire weapons, and even projectile attacks. Using Deflect at the right time, and when the enemy's least expecting it, can save your life and even get you a kill. Genji also has a unique passive. He's the only character in the game that can double jump, so you can imagine how useful his double jumping is when in combat or traversing the environment. Finally, we have Genji's ultimate, Dragon Blade, which basically has him pull out his katana and basically just go to town slicing and slashing at enemies, doing massive damage. You can also use Swift Strike and Deflect while Dragon Blade is out, only with greater effect. Needless to say, just badass as hell. Unsheathing your katana and hacking and slashing your way through enemies, it is quite a bit of fun. Genji is just a badass character. He's just awesome. He's just awesome. He's just awesome. He's a cybernetic robot cyborg ninja with katanas and shurikens. Like, what else do I need to say? Genji is awesome. Number 2. Reaper. I can't help myself, I like evil looking characters. He's got the black robes, he's got the lever, he's got the spikes, he's got the skull-like mask. I can't help it, I dig his design, I like evil looking characters. But besides his badass design, Reaper is actually a lot of fun to play, as he's the only character in the game that utilizes a shotgun. Oh, my mistake, I'm sorry. He dual wields shotguns. Those shotguns having a good spread, fire rate, do really brutal damage up close. But that's not even the best part. The best part is that when you run out of ammo, instead of typically reloading the weapons, Reaper just throws his shotguns away in favor of new ones. He seems to have infinite replacement shotguns in that cloak of his. I just find that both hilarious and badass. Now, Reaper's first ability, Wraith Form, makes him invulnerable to damage, move slightly faster, and have him pass through enemies and allies. But you can't fire or use your other abilities while using Wraith Form. Wraith Form is excellent for getting you out of a sticky situation, move from cover to cover in case the enemies have a good firing position, or perhaps helping you fall back, saving you from damage and even death. Or if you want, go all-in offensive, charge an enemy while invulnerable in Wraith Form, and get up close and personal with your shotguns. Wraith Form has a variety of uses, while Reaper's next ability, Shadow Step, has him teleport to a marked position. This is great for getting up to high vantage points that you couldn't usually reach, or flanking and getting the drop on your enemy. Both of Reaper's abilities, Wraith Form and Shadow Step, are both aids for helping Reaper get up close and personal with his enemies, which he's supposed to do since he's a close-range combatant with his shotguns. And finally, Reaper's ultimate ability, Death Blossom, has him spinning around, unloading his shotguns in all directions, damaging and killing all nearby enemies in his vicinity. Needless to say, getting behind an enemy team, or even in the middle and activating your ultimate, can absolutely devastate and almost guarantee you a kill streak if used at the right moment. Reaper may look like a simple character on the outset, but once you play as him, get used to his mechanics and see how they aid, combo, benefit one another, and benefit you in just the right moment during a match, during a fight, then he can be a pretty dynamic character and just a lot of fun to play as. And now, my number 1 favorite character from Overwatch is... Okay, I'm kind of cheating here. It's not so much my number 1 favorite character as it is my number 1 favorite characters. I'm sorry, I just couldn't help it. I love these 2 characters equally, and they to me are equally just so much fun to play as. So both of them are my favorites from the game. The 2 characters being my number 1 favorites are Reinhardt and Mercy. First up, Reinhardt. I simply love Reinhardt's design. The idea of this medieval knight-inspired mech robot armor is just friggin' awesome. And the actual design and detail in his character model is staggering and just a wonder to behold. Reinhardt is also one of the very few melee characters with his primary attack being his rocket hammer. And smacking away at enemies with this thing and sending them flying if you kill them with it, it's just so satisfying, just so satisfying. Now his first and most notable ability, Barrier Field, creates this giant energy shield wall, which blocks all incoming damage, which is just fantastic for any sort of support, whether it be defense or offense. Reinhardt's Barrier Field is literally a game-changing ability when a Reinhardt is in the game, in the match, and they're using their Barrier Field. It really can, and it really does change the tide of the game. His next ability, Charge, has him activate his rocket booster on his back and just charge in. While this ability can be useful for gaining distance, its primary function is to charge into an enemy player and pin them into a wall, doing massive damage, stunning them, and or killing them. His next ability, Fire Strike, fires a long-range projectile that can damage multiple enemies at once. While it's not a significantly empowering ability, it is a very nice ability to have, this ranged attack when Reinhardt is a melee-focused character. And then his ultimate, Earth Shatter, while honestly one of the more least impressive ultimates in the game, when used at just the right time. Earth Shatter can really help the team and severely hinder the enemy. When activated Earth Shatter, Reinhardt slams his hammer into the ground, stunning and knocking out all enemies in front of him. It can help you with killing a difficult foe, stunning a group of enemies and leaving them open for damage and kills, or canceling out another enemy player's ultimate. I just love the look and feel of Reinhardt. I really enjoy his melee combat and the support and game-changing effects his Barrier Field provides. Friggin' awesome character, love him. Now, my other favorite character of Overwatch, Mercy. Mercy is the straight up medic of the game. While there are other characters with healing abilities and a focus on support, Mercy is the straight up, flat out, obvious medic and support class. Now, I honestly prefer playing in other video games, attacker or tank classes, but I'll play medic and support when I have to, and I certainly enjoy playing medic or support. But Mercy from Overwatch, she is some of the most fun I have ever had playing a medic support character class in any video game. First off, her design. While admittedly her whole angel costume motif is pretty cheesy, especially with the halo, she wears it with pride and is able to make it look badass in some regards. On top of that, I'll be damned if Blizzard didn't go out of their way to make her look gorgeous. Her face, her hair, her body, a very lovely female character. Also, I just love her emotes. I adore her emotes. They're awesome, hilarious, and cute. Moving on to her actual gameplay and abilities, however, she is equipped with the Caduceus Staff. The staff's primary fire is a healing beam, quickly regenerating an ally's health from a distance. Its secondary fire is a damage boost, giving her target ally, well, more damage. I think most of you can see the benefits of this Caduceus Staff immediately. It is so very, very useful, and the way you can instantaneously switch from teammate to teammate, healing them or giving them a damage boost from a decent range so that you aren't in peril, just gives your team such an edge. But just in case you unfortunately find yourself in combat, Mercy is equipped with the Caduceus Blaster, an overall decent pistol with a quick reload, decent fire rate, but not too much damage. It really is a worst case scenario weapon if you find yourself cornered by enemies. Now the majority of Mercy's abilities are focused around her Caduceus staff, but her one other ability that you wouldn't think would be so useful or so unique to a medic or support class, her Guardian Angel ability, which is basically just a dash. But you activate Guardian Angel at a target ally, and it has you dash towards them, flying almost. And for a medic support class, this is actually a very useful and crucial ability, because if you see an allied teammate who's losing health and is about to die, you can activate Guardian Angel, quickly dash towards them, and start healing them immediately. It's amazing how a simple movement ability, a simple movement mechanic, added to that of a medic support class character, just how useful it is in fulfilling your role and supporting your team. Speaking of which, Mercy's ultimate ability, Resurrect. It is what it sounds like. You bring back from the dead all recently killed allies in your vicinity. I think it's pretty needless to say just how game-changing that ability is. Used at just the right time can change the entire course of a match. Needless to say, Resurrect is a pretty substantial ultimate. And I hope you all can see why I love these two characters and why I can't pick between the two, Reinhardt and Mercy. I find their gameplay so fun, in how they uniquely and greatly support their teams, how they uniquely combat their enemies, and how their abilities just greatly affect the match, on top of just having awesome, beautiful character designs, with some much welcome European voice acting. What can I say, I have a thing for German and Swedish accents. But there you go, those are my favorite characters from Overwatch, Reinhardt and Mercy. Anyways, that's been a video. If you did indeed like the video in any way, shape, or form, please hit the like button. Hitting the like button helps you, helps me, helps everybody involved with the video. If you hit the like button, please leave a comment with your thoughts, feelings, and opinions on this top 5 and my favorite characters from Overwatch. What are yours? Let me know in the comment section below. I love reading comments again. If you have enough comments, please leave a comment. If you want to help out and support this video, then please share it on social media, Twitter, and Facebook. If you want to help out and support me directly, then please consider becoming a patron and pledging on my Patreon. Anyways, guys, that's been a video, and I will see you all later.